Okay, so if they're going in, so what did Kim do while all this was going on?
Nothing. Sat there.
Hmm. There's articles that said that Cassie was saying that, Cassie was basically Diddy's slave, and that
Oh,
whatever he wanted to do, he would do. He would fight with her friends, argue in her face, do all this stuff, and she would just, pretty much take it, you know? Do you see similarities in the way Kim Porter acted that you saw in the way what Cassie described her experience to be?
I don't know what Cassie how she acted around him. I've only could perceive like when she cut her hair off because young Jock said, Puff said, I want you to cut your hair and she does it. Um, I don't think he had that type of control over Kim like that. I think Kim did the things that she kind of liked to do, and she got caught up in doing the same things that he liked to do because she liked women too.
Okay.
So
What about all these things of saying that, like, there were so many girls around Diddy that a lot of them were, like, young, you know? Like, little girls that didn't have any business being there, high school students and whatnot. Like, what was that thing where little girls were just going in and out? You ever witnessed that or seen anything like that or
other than those girls that was in the studio with Miss Lopez that night, they all look of age or some young. I don't know that, you don't ask for nobody ID. The only girl that I could ever say that was young and she had to be over 18 or 18 years old, and that was Kim's babysitter of
the
Christian.
girl that
Recent babysitter.
Diddy was sleeping with?
That was one of them.
Wow. After Kim
But
found out that
I knew she was about 18. In New York State, it's 17 years old. Uh, it's legal, but I knew she was about 17 to 18 years old.
last question, when he was with when Kim found out about the babysitter, did the babysitter stay or did Kim fire her?
I don't know if she ever found out.
Uh-oh. Okay, I mean, that's a good one. Very, very last question. What's your take on Mace, Curry, Roger Bond now coming out with their experiences, what they experienced with the
I don't have any take on, what those guys are doing or how they doing it. I didn't have no reason, no monetary gain for doing this. What he did, to people that I love, and he claimed that he loved them too. I was making aware of it. Your love was uh minuscule. It was monstrous, bro. Because the things that you did to those people, and you still go on air and you claim that you love them. I was letting people know, nah, no, it don't go down like that. It ain't you're wrong. The way you did certain things. So, um, what they do it and why they do it, they have to answer that. They have to answer that. I don't care why they did it, or I don't I don't care nothing about, you know, how they put it, how they tell their story. That's their story. It has nothing to do with Gene Deal.
definitely. When you say that Puppy's love was monstrous, though, to the people that you care about, what do you mean?
The thing they did to get BMF and Wolf going at each other. You understand what I'm
What?
saying?
Like what?
Like we spoke to him. He promised Wolf his 300 some $1,000. He told Wolf he didn't need Wolf anymore. I don't need you no more. I don't want you dealing with you no more. And Miss Jones, Wolf's mother, and I hate to talk about this, but these are the questions people ask me. Miss Jones let me hear the fact that the investigator said that they had all their phones tapped. And Puff told Meech, when Meech was calling Puff to say, yo, man, get your man, he bugging. You know what I'm saying? Before Wolf was even dead, he bugging, man. We're trying, and Puff words was, bruh, do what you gotta do. How you say that to your friend? How you say that to your man? Somebody who been there for you, that's made sure that you was all right. How do you do that? Why did you do that? Wolf ended up getting killed that night. You know what I'm saying? To a guy worrying, it's just stories after stories after story. And I got enough. Enough is enough, bro. And that's what this was all about. And had I known that he was going to get his just dessert with Cassie and some of the other people that's coming out,
Mhm.
my status in the streets, my status in what I did here in New York City, I wouldn't have never did it. I wouldn't have never said a word. But I didn't know none of this stuff was going to transpire.
Yeah,
I did this on my own.
you did. You to your credit, you 100% did. Let me ask you a question about the whole situation. Could you
Is this the
just
last one or the one before the last
this is
before the last?
this is a
Two?
very, very, very listen, let me just ask some more questions and I'll go. I'll hit you up with some more on that. We talk, don't worry, I got you. But
Uh,
with the wolf situation, so with Wolf, what was Puppy's relationship with Wolf? How did they come together? And why was it so treacherous for him to be like, yo, do what you gotta do? Aside from the fact it's messed up, 'cause I'm gonna say that. But like, could you just like let me know how they came up and their relationship and why Puppy owed Wolf so much?
all right. Wolf was with Christopher Williams and Heavy D and them working for security and stuff for them before Puff was even in the whole thing.
Mhm.
But Wolf was part of this crew called Butt Naked. They used to give parties, right? But other than that, they were street entrepreneurs that two of the individuals got arrested and they received 9 16 to life sentences in the courts.
Oh wow.
All right. The
Yeah.
people in Virginia did not know Wolf. So Wolf took it to trial and beat it. So now Wolf thing, because he was a part of that team, Butt Naked, that used to finance Puff and his artists. You understand? Before when Puff lost the job at Uptown Records, he still had to finance Craig Mack, Biggie, and try to get this to before he got to deal with the uh, Clyde Davis. Wolf
Mhm.
them used to funnel money through Bad Boy with Puff, right?
Ooh. Okay. How?
Keep his status. So now when Corey goes to jail, Puff is the one that's hitting Wolf off. You know, I mean when Corey goes on the run, Puff is the one that hitting Wolf off with the paper bags to make sure Corey can still be on the run.
Oh.
Corey gets caught. He start doing his time. Puff don't want to pay no more. But Wolf made sure he paid and made sure Lamont and Corey had their commissaries, and they still got kids out here. So they had to make sure their kids was all right too and do some of that. A lot of that money was coming from Wolf. Wolf said, yo, I had $300,000 that I spent. I was right there in the office when Puff promised him, when I do this Universal deal, I'm going to give you your money.
Huh.
Wolf didn't see that deal.
He just said no. You ain't getting it.
No. BMF ended
And then
up killing who's as friend as Puff.
how long between him saying I'm not giving you that money and Wolf passing away do you think passed?
I don't know the dates, but it wasn't long at all. It wasn't long at all. Because Wolf said, you know, I don't understand why Wolf would say what he said, yo, I'm gonna show you them niggas ain't who you think they are. You know? And the dude that Wolf put down as a gunman to BMF is the dude that killed Wolf.
Oh wow. That's
The dude
crazy.
that he put with him.
I think it was Big Meech, right?
Meech didn't kill him, but Meech it was the fight that he had with Big.
Oh, that's right. Meech was there at the gun, but they said that happened over a girl at the club. Or do you think that might have just been an excuse?
No, no, no. It had something to do with her, but Wolf had that girl was about 6 weeks pregnant with Wolf's child. And people don't know that. She was 6 weeks pregnant with Wolf's child. That's the same girl that Puff offered Wolf $10,000 to have sex with. And Wolf got mad and said, yo, I should have let you have sex with the BITCH. But she came over there and knocked Wolf's hat off his head. So Wolf goes over there to check her. Meech get involved with her because this girl is with a friend of Meech that he's about to do some business with.
Mhm.
You understand?
Mm.
but they throw Wolf out the club. Him and Renz and them, they throw them out the club. So it led to one thing, led to another. Meech tried to come out and talk to Wolf, add some words. Meech and somebody else got shot in the leg, and Meech got shot in the buttocks. And one of the dudes that Wolf knew got close enough because Wolf told him, since I know you, even though I put you down with being meth, I told Meech to put you down because you was like that in the street. He ended up shooting Wolf and killing him
So
every.
when did he get the call about, "Yo, get your boy"? Was that a
Meech
day?
called him while he was in the club, going in the back of the club. Meech called Puff.
What?
And this is what Mama Jones is letting me hear from the investigators through their wiretapping.
What? Yo, Diddy got a problem then. That slowed down. And he said, "Do what you gotta do," and the next thing you know, that was the last night anybody talked to Wolf.
Yep. And Riz.
Amber's so how did Diddy act in the days after that came to pass?
How did he what?
How did he act after when Wolf was
He
assassinated,
gave
basically?
Meech a party.
What?
When Meech got out of jail, he gave Meech a party.
What? What did everybody say about that? Like, the people, because you know, everybody knew. Like, how do you do that with no shame?
I don't know. I had a conversation with Meech myself. We met in Cancun. He was in the presidential suite at what you call it, Ritz Carlton. He invited me down to the room. Big man, come on down to the room, man. I said, Meech, listen here, brother. We was all family. We was all cool. I
Mhm.
don't know what happened between you and Wolf. And I didn't know the conversation he had with Puff at the time until Mama Jones told me later. I said, what happened with you and Wolf? That's two men dealing with shit. But I can't drink with you no more, bro. He shook my hand, I shook his hand, and that was it.
Wow. Now that is wild and sad and just like, that's evil. What was going on with Puff and his mom? When the fuck
No,
is this going on? We can
he
edit
was
this out because their stuff might come out first and then we can what was going on with Puff and his
no,
mom?
he was devastated. He was devastated, and he was about to kill himself. He could, he got fired. He had these charges come up there, and his mother was trying to, I guess, console him in a certain way. And this according to a conversation I had with Kirk Burrows. You know what I'm saying? And he put his hands on his mother.
Really? This is why
And
he was Mhm.
this why he was going through the shit at City College.
Okay.
And I never said nothing about it. Kirk Burrows told me about it, and I was like, "Y'all, now, Kirk." When I heard Puff, because he went off on his mother like real crazy one time, and I checked him. I said, "Yo, bro, if you ever talk to your mother again like that, I'm gonna beat the shit out you. I'm not playing
Mhm.
with you." And then
Mhm.
he told me, Regina, I tell her to stay out of my business. I said, motherfucker, you wouldn't have no business if it wasn't for her. Now, me and Kirk Burrows, we talked before, and Kirk Burrows said, yo, Gene, all this shit is coming out now. I thought he was going to change. When I saw him smack his mother, and I was like, what? I said, Kirk, you never told me that before. He said, yeah,
Yeah.
yo, Gene, when he was going through the city college shit, he slapped his own mother. And I thought he was just, because he was 19, 20 years old, he was going to grow out of that. That was just because he was going through what he was going through. And I said, no, man, if you would have ever told me that shit, bro, when I heard him crush his mother, I'd have whooped his ass. If I'd have known he did, that's how he was treating his mother.
Mhm. So you make a few interesting points though, because it sounds like the Diddy that we hear about now is an entirely different person than what I mean, there's some things the same. He got real handsy, he had a temper and whatnot. But do you think from the Diddy back then, from the Diddy that everyone's talking about now and Cassie talked about in her lawsuit, can you see a clear line? Or is that kind of like, yo, I knew he was bad, but
I knew he was a spoiled brat, and I knew he talked to his mother crazy. I knew he tried to talk to his mother crazy around me before, but when they start talking about the drugs, he never did drugs. Big used to always try to get him to smoke weed. He would never smoke weed. He would never, he'll drink his champagne around us, but all the pills and all the other stuff happened after he had that incident with Kim.
Okay, we heard you talk about that incident with Kim, I think on
Right.
the Art of Dialogue. And just to bring people up, they got into some type of altercation. He tried to lay hands on Kim, and Kim fought back and defended herself.
Yeah. Yeah, that Cherokee Indian came out of her. She would Navajo on them.
She said, "You know what? Good for her. Good for her because
So,
he ain't
but what
stopping."
happened was that, and they could check the hospital records.
Mhm.
They called me and said, "Yo, Puff is over." I was supposed to have that. Uh, I was supposed to have off. They was like, "Yo, Puff is over at St. Luke's Hospital." I said, "What happened?" He said, "Him and Kim got into it. Get over there."
Yeah.
I'm hearing a whole conversation, and
Mhm.
he had the
Mhm.
white t-shirt wrapped around the ring. He just bleeding. He was bleeding like crazy. And I think she may have like came close to cut an artery or a vein or something like that.
Oh.
And after that, you know, Puff got on the pills and he never got off of them from the
So
time I was around.
so what made you think that he was actually, like, on the pills, though? Did his behavior change? Did you see him partaking? Like, what made you think
He
that he
had
was
to happen. This white kid, he was about 5'7". He could have weighed about 165, 70 pounds, used to
Mhm.
meet us everywhere we went. Like if I got him on a Saturday or I got him some other time, or he would have the drivers them go, and this
Mhm.
little white kid was charging him like $1,500 a bottle.
What? Oh,
And
man.
that's how I knew that opioid shit way before it got where people start doing it. I
Yeah.
knew it was big based on the job I did because people who don't have heroin to shoot up or whatever like that. They use those opioids, you know what I'm saying, to get over it
Yeah.
for the next day because they're addictive. And they change you. So that's how I knew that.
That's how you knew that something was coming. So, when you
Right.
say that they changed you, when he started using pills regularly, did you notice a change in his behavior? Did it get worse, more erratic? Was it about the same, his anger, or was it
Puff know who to do his shit around. And I tell people that all the time.
what you mean?
Because he could be acting a fool and Heavy Deal come in the house or Heavy Deal come in the office or wherever Heavy D see him at. He be like, "Yo, come here, man, let me speak to you."
Mhm.
And he like a puppy with his tail in his leg and go right where Heavy D had
Really?
something of power over him. Like that was his father or that was his mentor, whatever it was to him. But he would not act like that or if Heavy D tell him, "Yo, my man, whatever you do, you straighten that out with those first people," he'll
Mhm.
do it. He had that power over Puff.
Okay, so he had the power over Puff. Um, when Heavy D passed away, did he react about that? Did he look at it as like a mentor figure?
I wasn't around him when Heavy passed away, but I know he took it hard. Even
Okay.
though Heavy had that power like that over him, he had to take it hard because Heavy is the one who really gave him his start in this whole shit.
When you say it, because I want to go back to Puffy, you say also that he was like a spoiled brat. How and what ways do you think he was spoiled? Was it temper? Did he always think he could have his way? I'm just trying to get everybody because when I hear about the stuff he's doing now, it makes me wonder like, what was he like before he got the money? Did the money just
Yeah.
amplify, or did he get
Yeah.
caught up in some people that just got him into some weird mess?
Well, I
What
look
do
at
you
it
think?
like this. Puff was nobody. Like he was just a dude giving parties. You
Hmm.
understand what I'm saying? He didn't have no clout in Harlem.
Hmm.
He cannot tell you a block he grew up on and a crew he rolled with until he got into the late age and started rolling with the same gang.
Hmm.
He can say, "Yo, man, we used to, Harlem had a thing, right? Um, Monday, everybody would be at this club over there on 120th Street and
Hmm.
Fifth Avenue.
Okay.
Tuesday, we at the rink. Wednesday, we at the Apollo. Thursday, we at the Cotton Club.
Mhm.
You understand?
Yeah.
Fridays, people wait until it get late and we hanging out at Willie's outside.
Mhm.
You understand?
Yeah.
So we have had that type of thing like that. And then on Sundays, people was at the tunnel.
Mhm.
Now, if uh some of the crews that was giving the parties, Peter Shoe, Black and Gold, Reggie Wells, those usually happen on Saturday. You know, Puff didn't start doing none of that stuff until he started hanging with the same gang because he wanted
Got
to be noticed. And D. Ferg was the dude that ASAP Ferg father was the dude that brought him in, and that was his man. Because, like I said, he designed that whole logo for Uptown Records and that whole logo for uh Bad Boy.
Ah,
So,
okay. That makes
so
sense. That makes
he was nobody. He was nothing. He didn't even know how to talk to girls.
Really? What you
Yeah,
mean?
he even said that. He said it himself. He said, "My man, I don't know how to rap to girls. I Wolf, he had to use guys to get girls. He was Cyrano de Bergerac.
So wait, when you said he had to use guys to get girls and he was awkward around girls, were you there when Misa started coming into the picture?
Yeah, I
So
was
how
there.
did he so describe how he would be awkward around girls. Say
You
they
got to
coming up.
realize Misha was young. Like Misha's 17, 18 years old. You know what I'm saying? And like you understand when a man like you, he'll come up to you and like, hey, what's up, man? What's going on? What's your name? Oh, Tish. That's a nice name. Tish, where you get that name from? You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Who named you that? Make up any kind of conversation. Oh,
yeah.
there's your aunt. You got some pretty eyes, Tish. You know what I'm saying? Uncle Jane. No, but you'll say something, you understand, to get this girl interested in you or whatever like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So when he had a dude like Wolf, who's a player, you understand, Wolf
Okay.
gonna snatch the girl for him and him. It's for
Gotcha.
himself and him.
Gotcha.
That's
So
why he kept those type of dudes around him
mm,
that could communicate and get certain women.
so
Every girl that you heard talk about him in their relationship, from Jennifer Lopez, Cassie, and all of them, I ain't like him.
this is true. This is true.
He let his
Every
watch
girl says the
talk
same
for
thing.
him. He let his ring talk for him. He let his bank account talk for him.
Mm.
Bow.
So when he met Wolf, and I know that there is, and here's the thing, you were around during the Misa years. I know
Right.
everybody has this thing that Wolf might be Justin's daddy, this and that, but I did some research and Misa literally dragged Diddy to child support court 11 million times to make sure she got everything that she deserved. How could there be any question about Wolf and Justin as far as parent, dad, son, when they was always in child support? 'Cause Puppy tried to
I,
give her 0.
I don't believe, I don't believe that Justin is Wolf's child.
Okay.
You understand? But you got to realize guys were doing sneaky and dirty shit back then. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? When girls get high, they get drunk and stuff like that. They let
Yeah.
their man go in the room or whatever like that. Now, do Justin look more like Wolf than he does Puff? Yeah, but Justin looked like his mama too.
True. True. That's a
You know
good
what I'm
one.
saying?
Justin do look like his mama.
Right. So
Yeah.
I would never say Misa's not that type of woman to do
Yeah.
that shit.
Yeah.
You understand? But if there's some bullshit behind it, I knew them guys used to do that dumb shit. When I was in college, dudes would do that shit. Girls would be with them, want to be with them.
Mhm.
They'll come out the room and then let one of the other guys go in there and shit like that. That was stupid, dumb shit that the guys did back in college. You know what I
Really?
mean?
So this culture that Diddy seems to have kept going on, it was granted, like you said, it was dumb-ish, but it was one of those things like, girls just had to be careful. Like as
Yeah.
you're yeah. So that's interesting that maybe the ways that we're just like, Puffy, where did you learn this? he was on some stuff about when he was coming up, the dirt bags around that time were on that dumb mess.
Right.
Hmm. Okay. So there was things. So tell me about the Misa years. How was Diddy with Misa? Did you ever either feel just your impressions, right? Did you ever feel that there was anything going on that was maybe physical, anything going on that was maybe untoward or whatnot, or worry about Misa with Puff?
I just heard of one incident with Misha and Puff, and they said, they was told that it was told to me, yo, he beat her up under the car when he thought Eric Sermon was dealing with her. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Because Eric Sermon had dropped her off one time.
okay.
I don't know what the situation was and like that, but I heard about that. But when I was around Justin and Misa was always caring for Justin. Even when the fact that when she get ready to smoke a joint, you know, she'll pass Justin to somebody who wasn't around them or whatever like that. So
Mhm.
Misa's the type of girl that, uh, especially out in public, Puff is not going to disrespect her because it was
Why
too
you say
many
that?
because there's too many dudes out there that Misa that was the shit back then.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
and, and I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that for Misa. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
guys was on it like that with her. So no Puff know who to do that shit around and when to do that shit. And he usually probably kept it in the confine of their own home or, you know, where somebody else or if somebody does see it, you know, he not gonna be in a situation whereas that individual uh is gonna come out on him on it. You know what I mean? He had a
Mm,
couple of cops like myself. He had an officer, he had like two or three other officers, that I'm sure that he wasn't doing dumb shit around them. But then he had some street dudes that he seemed like he always get in trouble with them around.
mm, really? So around that time of him always getting in trouble, so okay, I can see Misa was Puffy always went for whoever was the popular girl, whoever the dudes were really into. Misa was super popular back then. How did Diddy's mom feel about Misa? You know?
I, I can't really speak on that because I really don't know. But I
Okay.
know that she loved Justin,
Of
the
course.
baby.
Of
You know what
course.
I'm saying? I've been in a
Yeah.
couple of I was at his first birthday party, his Christian. I was at all the shit that I even got pictures with my daughter, right there with Justin, when he was
Yeah.
doing his first birthday parties and stuff like that. Um, I don't
So
I can't really speak on his mother with that,
okay.
with Misa, but I know that she knew Puff was giving Misa a hard time with that child support, and I never really understood that because he was when Kim had Christian, she was giving Kim everything.
Yeah, he was giving Kim everything while Misa. Do you think from what you remember, did he have access to Kim that he didn't have to Misa? Because like you
Oh,
said, Misa. Hmm,
he had access to Kim, no matter if he was with her or not, all the time. He never lost access to Kim. He never gave Kim up, or Kim never stopped dealing with him. And
mhm.
she had open door policy with him at all times.
Really?
Yeah,
Mm, I
even
didn't
when
know that.
even when he was with J Lo.
Really? Did J-Lo know that?
I don't think she knew that because she tried to get it out of me one night, and I wouldn't tell her.
How's she trying to get it out you?
She said, "Gene, whoever takes care of me, I take care of them." And I said, "Ms. Lopez, I am not at liberty to say anything about Mr. Combs and his business." And that
You
was it.
loyal one. You are
Huh?
a loyal one. So you are a loyal one. She tried it though. She was like, "'Cause you know these
And
J-Lo
she
sex
had just
calls."
bought she had just bought Wolf a Rolex, I think.
Oh, really? Uh, did he know that she bought Wolf a Rolex?
Yeah, she knew it. I think it was a fancy watch. It was a real expensive watch. He was upset. Yeah, he was mad
Why did
about
she
that.
buy it for real? Did she just buy it out the blue?
I don't know why and how, but I know she gave Wolf a watch for Christmas.
And let me find out Wolf was snaking Diddy. Let me find
Well, I
out.
don't think he was snaking her, but did he try to snake him a couple of times?
Really? Wow. I guess Wolf was the gold standard, so he had to try to dethrone the king, you know? He
Yeah.
had to try to see. So, let me get this straight. So, really quick, because I just wanted to ask, what Diddy's mom, even though you heard that, like, sometimes he laid hands on her, how was the mom's relationship with Diddy? Was she afraid of him, or was she just like an overindulgent mom? Like, what was your impression of that?
If I was to say anything about his mother, she was basically overindulgent in all his affairs. But you got to realize he was putting all his affairs in her name,
What do you mean by that? I don't understand.
like the publishing, the companies, and all the stuff like that. In case he gets sued, most of the stuff was in Janice Combs' name.
Oh, do you think that was a way that he was trying to avoid paying child support too? Because he was going down to the mat with Misa
Yeah.
about child support.
Right.
Hmm, that's interesting to know. Okay, so with the Misa years, it sounds like, especially in these early years, you know Diddy might have gotten handsy every now and then, and not excusing that, but back then it was a different world when it came to laying hands
Yeah,
on people.
but I understand that. But like I'm the type of dude. I got daughters.
Mhm,
I got nieces.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I love women. You're not
Yeah.
gonna put your hands on nobody in front of me.
Mhm.
You understand?
Yeah.
And my brothers never tell you, we done came out of clubs and I've seen dudes, got their girl up in this stuff and going at them. I'm snatching the dude up and I don't even know the dude. I don't even know the girl. My man, take that
Wow.
shit home. Don't do that shit in front of me. There's
Yeah.
some guys that still have that chivalry in them, you understand, which it'll get you killed if you ain't prepared for it.
Mhm.
We know that.
Yeah.
That might be their way of making, Tess, smack me around, call me Susan, Tess. And then, baby, let's go home and make love. It's
Well,
some women like that.
as a woman, but come on. Come on. Don't nobody like being yoked up in it. Like, don't like literally. It was just like it was supposed to be a love tap, not like a boom. It got me down on the ground, you know? So let's go through your impressions of the women of Diddy. So there was Misa.
Right.
When how deep do you think their relationship was? How did it roll into Kim? And then how, as you remember, did it roll into J Lo and Cassie? Let's run it down.
Well, I can't speak on Cassie,
Okay.
but uh, Misa and Kim was friends,
Okay.
right?
Good
And
friends
I
or just
guess
like
it,
club
huh?
friends? Were they good friends or just like club friends?
They
Like,
were
did she
good
get
friends.
really?
They were friends,
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
right? Just like Sarah and Kim was friends. Pots and pans, every time you see them, they changing hands. Them two was close with each other. Sarah and
Wow.
Kim was real close.
Really?
You didn't see one without seeing the other.
Okay. That must have been a shock to her to find out that her good friend was having a child by. Why do you think Puffy liked to like go in between friends? Do you think it was access or you think it was something different?
Well, I guess it probably had to do with access, but it also had to do with, like I said before, he don't know how to talk to women. I
Mhm.
don't understand. As deep as Jennifer Lopez was and how all the sense she been, I don't still don't understand how she got him, but then I do understand, but I don't understand. You know what I mean? Because she used to
No.
say fly
Explain.
shit, huh?
Wait, so what?
She used to say flight like when you got a woman say, yo, you know what the perfect day would be with me and you? And you say, what, babe? What would be a perfect day? Just me and you sitting here, eating some calamari, drinking some wine, and just talking and talking and talking. When she said that shit to him, I said, doing. Because Tish, that's some fly shit for a woman just to say to a man. That'll be the perfect date for us.
Yeah.
It wasn't going shopping. It wasn't being around people. Just me and you talking and having a conversation with each other. You
Yeah.
know, he don't know how to respond to that. So I think that she was a little bit just more mature than he was as far as when it came to relationship wise.
Okay.
So when it comes to people like Kim, Kim was whatever, whatever. You
What
know
you
what I'm
mean?
saying?
Mm-mm.
You get that black card, let me go get shopping, let me go here, let me go there. We good. I don't care what you do. Because you got to realize people going to get mad, people going to be upset. She was passed on. From Russell Simmons to Andre Harrell to Al B. Sure to Diddy.
Wait, roll it back. Kim Porter. No. Let's go through the paces, right? You are the historian. Kim Porter dated Russell Simmons, Kimora Lee's, I guess, future man at that time. So first she dated Russell Simmons, right? This was, I'm assuming, before Kimora Lee dated him.
But let me just say, messed with.
Okay, so she messed with Russell Simmons. So she was in those circles. So she messed with Russell Simmons. Then
Russell sent her over to Andre Harrell to be his assistant. Then it was Andre Harrell. Al B. Sure fell for her. Then Al B. Sure. Then Diddy.
So Diddy started talking to her while she was with Al B. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Was Diddy very much in love with her?
What he calls
Your
love.
impression. Your impression.
What he calls love.
But then why couldn't they make it work out then?
I'm not a marriage counselor, but it's it's what he calls love. It's you got to realize is that in the back of your mind, no matter how sexy Kim may have been, how pretty she may have been, you know her history. You know what she been through, dudes that dealt with her, what she was doing, how she did it.
Okay, but I could
You never
challenge.
going to work her so much.
Okay, I could challenge that and say, could that really be the answer? Because when you talk about history, you might not have had a front row seat to the Cassie years, but he was with Cassie for 10 years. And he was the one that allegedly wanted her dealing with other dudes and was sending her tapes to other people. So with the Kim Porter stuff, how much of her history could have played a role in the fact that he would never basically officially claim her? Because he claimed Cassie and he claimed J-Lo.
Kim was doing the same thing though.
What do you
Kim
mean?
was dealing with other dudes while he was with her.
Not dealing with other dudes. I'm talking about with the Cassies, with the freak offs, where he was having Cassie do threesome with
Kim
guys.
was having week offs with him too. They call it swinging.
Oh, really?
So if they
Oh.
swinging together, you know, he bringing other dudes into the relationship, other producers, other people around it, and it's him killing them and they girl. That's the same thing.
So if she's swinging with him, then what does it matter who she was with before? I'm just trying to get into his mindset. Like, what does it matter who she was with before if everybody's for everybody?
But still in all, are you gonna wife that?
Her?
Are you gonna wife it?
Well, I mean, he tried to wife Cassie or wanted to wife her.
Did he really? I ain't seen no ring on that finger.
Well, I do
Did he
remember
get
him putting a
engaged
ring.
to one?
I do remember him putting a ring on her finger, but then telling everybody the next day it was just for friends. Like he gave her this ring that looked like an engagement ring, and Cassie was sporting it in a picture of him. And this is when him and Kim were going back and forth. I did my internet
That's
research.
all
Him and
show.
Kim,
You know that's all show, mama. You know
yeah,
that's
no,
all
he did.
show. You know
He did.
that's nothing real. You understand?
Gotcha.
That's nothing
Gotcha.
real.
Okay. All right. So that's nothing real. Let me ask you something. When you said that they were swinging, did you notice? And this comes into again the Cassie years were the cat. Did you ever work from why he worked with Cassie or Cassie was after?
I never worked with him when he was with Cassie.
Okay, so then let's ask about the pre-Cassie years. You said the swinging. Did you ever have any indication that the freak offs were going on with men? Because when I hear most men say we swinging, it usually means you got to pull somebody in the room for me, right? If you come in and there's another Gene Deal standing there, you're gonna be like, "What is this mess?" You know?
Listen,
Yeah.
I knew a couple of times that some freaky stuff was going on based on one, and this got me a lot of, I got a lot of feedback from them on this bullshit. But it happened. If it happened, if it went down, it went down.
Okay.
We went to we was in Atlanta. We went to one of those exotic stores that he go to.
Mhm.
right? And while going to the exotic store, you know, I'm following behind him. And so he's picking up things. So he reached up here to his left and he pushed some things down. And then it was like he did quite a few things that he pushed down,
Okay.
and I was like, wow. So when we got to that part, I looked up there and see what he was pulling down, and it said butt plugs. Right? So
Did you
I'm
know what it
sorry.
was, or did you have to go home and Google?
Huh?
Did you know what they
It's
were
you
used
see it?
for?
No, I grabbed the shit. I grabbed the shit. And I said, hey yo, what are you getting this for? You can see people gotta realize, and people don't understand this. I wasn't here just normal security and protection. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I'm one of the leaders of the same game.
Yes.
He's not gonna treat me no kind of way, but give me the respect like he's supposed to, as me being like an elder in the crew. You
Okay.
understand?
Yeah.
Two, he wasn't the Diddy that y'all know with all the money and all this. And I had my other jobs. I had my other hustles.
Gotcha.
You understand? He called me, and Kirk Burrow could attest to this. Puff used to call me, yo, Gene, I need you, something like that. He started having his people call me because he started thinking he got big. I would hang
Mhm.
up on him. I would hang up on him. And then he called me back, yo, Gene, could you please they know where I'm going to be at, or they know my schedule. They try to match it with the days that you got off, or the days that, that you could show up for me, bro. So can you
Mhm.
please just deal with them? I said, but I
Mhm.
told you what I told you, bro. If something
Yeah.
go down, you don't know nothing about me. But to get back to what you were saying with that, is that he didn't treat me like he treated a lot of people I used to see how he talked to that did
Mhm.
security or that was around. And plus I
Mhm.
wasn't gonna allow that to happen.
That's interesting how
Yeah.
you said that Puffy definitely knew who to say things to and who to treat the way he treated. So at the end of the day, it's like when he had to act like he had some sense, he knew how to act like he had some sense.
Right.
So when it comes to Cassie and Kim, right? You do make a good point that at the end of the day, while Cassie might have been the girl that he took out in public, and for whatever reason, he realized that he could keep Kim on the back burner and she'd be happy to
Right.
be there. He pretty much treated every woman he's been with. Do you think Misa was swinging with Puffy?
Nah,
No.
nah.
Okay.
No, I don't think Misha was that. I never thought Misha was that. Because I used to bodyguard Misha too.
Hmm.
And she
Okay.
never gave me that impression that she was none of that. You know what I'm saying?
So with the Kim stuff, that's when Diddy started to get money because I remember he got hit with like 35,000 in child support for Kim's firstborn and Kim's firstborn. Um so he was starting to get money. When he started to get money, did you start to see cuz you said that he came up with the same gang. We're going to talk about that. But when he started to get money, did you start to see his circle change?
Oh yeah, no doubt. And then he started saying shit like he told Mace. He said, "You ain't gonna never be famous because you speak to people first." He said, "Don't stop speaking to people and let people speak to you." And I used to see that. I was like, man, Mace, don't listen to that stupid shit he talking about.
Mhm.
But Puck will never speak to nobody first. He'll make it unless you was famous. Now, if you was
Mhm.
famous and you was on that radio radar, yeah, hey, what's happening like that? But just a regular old Joe, somebody like that, he ain't gonna say hi to you or none of that. He wants you to speak to him and acknowledge him. I don't know. I guess that's that industry shit. I never got with it. You know what I
I
mean?
guess I guess so. So speaking of the industry stuff, you said that I think Jessica or Janet, the girl that was managing all the hip hop events, right? You said that she introduced him to Clive Davis, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so when she introduced him to Clive Davis, is that when things started really taking off and he started like he met Kim, he got in this? I'm just trying to think of timeline, not to be in this man's business, but when did all this swinging and all this other mess start happening?
Not to be in this business, sis.
Listen, I had to say it. Allegedly.
We
Allegedly.
all in the um
Allegedly.
when I think when he started getting that money from Clyde Davis, because he was getting street money. And he
Mhm.
had gotten street money up until those guys went to jail. and that was the crew from Butt Naked. Um, so I think when he got that, start getting those checks from Clive Davis, and people start treating him like he was rich, getting all the free shit, because he was getting a lot of, people who get rich. When you rich, you get a whole lot of free shit. You know what I'm saying?
Whole
You
lot.
know, and that's crazy. Discounts, like these people go out and buy these Fendi bags and try to be like these stars, but they giving them 40 and 60% discounts when they come in the store. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
he start getting that type of attention. We go places, we have carte blanche, and I would see him acting fool on television, but that ain't the Puffy I knew. You know what I'm saying? This
So when did
the brief stuff.
the puppy start disappearing?
I start seeing a difference. I think that when he got with J-Lo,
What started changing? What did you notice?
like didn't give a F about, what nobody thought, nobody felt after Big died. And I think that, when he didn't care. It's when your girl is upstairs and you getting the fellatio while your girl is upstairs, it's something about you. There's something that's wrong with you that you wouldn't even try some shit like that. You understand?
Yeah.
So people was bringing him things, and like just like with the girl Corinne Steffen, Superhead, somebody would bring him her. Yo, she crazy. The head is crazy. Okay. What is it gonna cost me? You gonna take care of it? Now he's dealing with her. It's so many women that were bad, that was fine, that I would see come out the room sometimes. I was like, damn, Mom, for real? And
Really?
they leave, I'm like, damn, Mom. And they'll be laughing again because that was that type of atmosphere. You understand?
So while he was with J-Lo, what other famous people do you remember seeing coming out that room?
Tis.
Hypothetically, let's play make-believe. Let's play make-believe. In a world of that you would never believe, who could we possibly, somebody that would just never, who could we never believe? Again, this is not
I would never say,
hypothetical. I know you don't know, but if you had to guess, let's just so like Diddy and Hillary Clinton.
Terrell,
Diddy and Hillary Clinton.
hypothetically speaking, I would never say Sally Richardson or Diamond. Y'all know her real name. I would never say Diamond.
From the Players Club. Hypothetically speaking, who else we talking about?
Jeez, that ain't enough.
No, hypothetically speaking, because here's the thing that blew my mind. The fact that J-Lo would be upstairs and maybe, hypothetically speaking, something downstairs would be happening.
Well, that's not hypothetically speaking. That was happening.
Okay. But did he go out of his way to hide that from J-Lo? Or what J-Lo?
Yeah, I think he did.
So
he went out. A lot of, him and old boy had these little skinny white girls downtown on 4th and 5th Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
And their apartment buildings down there. And let's just say he's affiliated with basketball and football at the same time. They had their little skinny British white girls down there. And when they would meet up with each other, they would say, yo, how your little white girl doing? You're like, how your little white girl doing?
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So that was going on. He was trying to hide it from J-Lo, but like you said, why are you even doing this and being so reckless?
When I tried to tell him, the guy who's with them all the time, Paul, I say, yo, Paul, do you know those private eyes are following us? You understand? He said, gee, what are you talking about? I said, they them private eyes, bro. I work for a private eye company, Elite Investigations. So I know some of the guys, I know some of the people, I know how they get down, how they work, whatever. I'm an investigator myself. So I say, yo, dog, Puff got private eyes. They got private eyes following them. So I thought that it was Miss Lopez, or it was, what's this guy named? Benny Medina, who hated Puff. They was trying to get J-Lo away from him.
Why?
So I thought he hired people to follow Puff to get dirt on him about so they can give to Jennifer.
Were you right? Was it the
Well, I
one?
mean, I was right.
I guess you were right. He didn't make it too hard, right? The first day, the guy was like, "Let me not turn in my reports for another week, so at least I can get paid." The first day, they found evidence. Like he woke up and they were like, "Wow, okay." So so do you think that it was the charges that came up from that shooting in the nightclub that truly was the final nail in the coffin? Or do you think there was all that stuff in the background going down between Jennifer and Puff that she was just like, I'm tapping out?
Well, first of all, I know for a fact that her mother hated him.
You
And when
talking?
somebody as big as her and she loves her mother like she do, and they got a disdain taste in their mouth for your man, shit ain't gonna work.
Why do you think she hated Diddy? If you know, you know.
I think
Dominicans
I think that's
sort of
I think
Dominican
that's a big
blood.
part of it. I think
Yeah.
that's a big part of it. She may not never admit it, but all the conversations they had, all the things he was trying to buy her mother and everything, give her mother, she wouldn't accept not one gift.
Because Diddy, to your knowledge, did him and J-Lo ever get handsy or have any of the issues that Kim have?
Not
Or
never,
yeah, so
never,
he treated her like
no.
he was cheating, but it did never got handsy or anything like that.
No, no, no. It never got handsy. I got a funny part in my second book about one night that she was about to go on some girls, and she just got so frustrated. She just said, "Yo, Jane, Jane," and I wanted to help her, but I couldn't. I couldn't at the time. But she wasn't.
Wait.
It wasn't because she was putting his hands on her, nothing like that. But he was just trying to. She said they was trying to make her look like Susie Saucershead.
Okay, so explain that. I don't understand this story.
We were. J Lo wanted him to come. I mean, Miss Lopez wanted him to go to this event with her. He told her all kind of lies, like he had to do this, and he had to do it, which was a bunch of bullshit. He didn't want to go to the event. So
Okay.
she came back. She had this lavender, I think purplish lavender dress on. Had this big ass 3 carat diamond ring. Could be 9 carats or whatever like that. She was gorgeous, and I was like, "Yo, this nigga would go tour with her." I'm like, "Yo." So she came back to the studio, and he had all these girls up in the studio. And then this chick said, I think she overheard Ms. Lopez overheard the girl say, um, "Oh, she ain't all that." They was like scallywags, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, compared to Jen. So then Gene was like, "Yo," Bob was like, "Yo, Gene, take Jennifer home, man, and bring her back to the studio." You know, so I go home. That's when she told me the story about, "Yo, Gene, I take care of everybody who take care of me." You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
And I was like, "Yo, Ms. Lopez, I'm not at liberty to say anything about Mr. Cohn's business, but I will tell you that when we came back from doing what we was doing, those girls was already in the studio." But then she was like, "Yo, Gene,"
I know she felt like smacking you. Those girls were already there, you
because she
know?
the next thing they with that. But Gene, you and I both know ain't nobody in that studio unless Puff get permission from them to be up in there.
Yeah.
Miss Lopez, I don't know what to say. I didn't hear him make any situations like that, and you have to talk to him that when you get back to the office with him. She went upstairs. She jumped out the car, and I'm supposed to go upstairs with her. She just
Yeah.
jumped out the car and jetted on me. She got her ponytail in. She put the grease on her ears. Came back in the jeans and the sneakers, and Miss Lopez had turned into Jenny from the block.
Okay. I guess she was
No,
about it.
huh?
I guess she was about it. So then what happened? She
So then she
greased
came back to the
everybody when she got
studio.
her rings on?
Yeah. She came back to the studio. And don't you know, Buffett got them girls out of there and gave her a song that was supposed to be from Faith.
Oh. What song was it?
I forgot, but the song was supposed to be from Faith or Sherry Dennison. It was for
Okay.
fake facility venison. Puff gave it to her. They worked on her and the writer worked on the song for a little bit, and then we all went to we went to a club called Eugene's.
Okay.
Beyonce was there, Kelly Rowland, Michelle, Dame Dash, Jay Z, Jennifer, and myself
Oh, really?
at the club called Eugene's. I was the only
Yeah.
bodyguard. I'm like, yo, what are y'all bodyguards? This nigga, he had me there, and all those stars was right there. They was having fun. They was laughing, joking. Then we went to a place called the cafeteria,
Oh,
and that's so
cafeteria.
yeah. We went to the cafeteria, and that's when she was like, yo, pouring out her heart. Yo, how you gonna try to play me? He said, yo, I gotta have these girls around me because you know that we stars and everything like that, and that shows people that they can't have it like us because we we got all these girls around. He was just trying to explain some stupid shit to her. She just said, "You fucking think I'm Sam Sauce, Susie Sauce's head?" And then she said, "Yo, Gene, would you tell him?" And I was like, "Yo." And the Puff said, right out of my, he said, "Gene, the OG, he ain't gonna say nothing."
Uh,
So I turned back around and
order
just
had some more truffle
walked.
fries. Minded your business.
I walked. I turned back around. I was gonna say something, but then I said, when he said, "Yo, Gene ain't gonna say nothing," he an OG. All right, I ain't gonna say nothing.
So it sounds like from this, right, that for whoever Diddy was, it seemed like he put J-Lo on a pedestal. Or do you think that they weren't together long enough for his ways to take over? Like, do you think that was capable of treating a woman with respect?
I think that he was treating her with respect, and then whenever he was having a problem or having issues, because he would take that shit out on Kim, because Kim could be out having fun, doing her thing, and they wasn't together. He was with J Lo, I mean Miss Lopez, and he'll call Kim after we drop Miss Lopez off, and the babysitter said, "So Kim is not here. She's at," because Kim would tell the babysitter wherever she at. Then we going wherever Kim was at.
Really? Did J-Lo know about this?
No, I don't think she knew.
Wow. That Benny Medina knew. Like, okay, so I can get why. Again, this is just my interpretation. I know J Lo is Puerto Rican, of course, but I do know from just being in the New York area, Dominicans just started claiming they were black like 6 years ago. Before that, it was just like, no, it's not the same. It's not the same. Not all, but the old generation was like, oh no, 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 right? Um, Same thing sometimes with the old guard of those Puerto Ricans in the Bronx. So it could be perhaps that the reason why J Lo's mom loved Ben Affleck so much is because he was a Boston white boy, this and that, as opposed to a Mount Vernon, black man. But what
Right.
do you think Benny Medina's issue was with Diddy? Did he know what was
I think
going on with Diddy in the streets?
I don't know if he knew, but it was something about when we had a meeting in California and I was with him. I could tell that by the way he and his demeanor, he didn't like the fact that Puff was with J Lo. He was managing J Lo at that time, and I think that he thought that Puff was going to ruin her career or whatever.
Hmm. Just because of who he was, the way he treated her, or just what he thought he could bring
And
to
it's
the
probably
table?
not who she was, who he was.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Not big enough, or you think it was something personal?
I think it was more personal. Benny Medina is racist himself. Allegedly, or he didn't like. He used them for what they want to use them for, and
Mm.
move on.
Mm.
So I don't think that he was a good dude towards Puff, or he liked Puff at all. So if I don't like you at all, and then you with somebody I'm managing or somebody that I got their career interest in, I'm not going to like them for you. You feel
I
me?
mean, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. And I understand exactly what you're trying to say, right? At the end of the day, you're like, there might be plenty of reasons to not like him, but you ain't list one. It's just, It's just
Right.
unspoken for no reason. Let's get back to the J-Lo, Kim's thing, because 'cause I'm actually really super interested in that. So, the whole time, Kim was just there for him, okay? So, when Kim was there for him, what do you think so Kim was always there and Kim knew about J-Lo, but J-Lo never really knew about Kim. But he would take his anger, his frustration, or whatever, or just always be up under Kim while he was with J-Lo.
Mhm.
Do you think that he was like so if that's the case, do you what did you hear about him and Cassie?
When did I hear about him?
Yeah, when did you hear about Cassie? And because Cassie and Kim overlap too. If J-Lo left him, she got the hell out of there, but when did you hear about the stuff with Kim and Cassie?
Yo, it was funny how J Lo left him, right? Me and this dude went shopping because people don't know. I used to sign Puff's name on all the credit cards or all the paper. That's how you see he changed. Well, I got the credit cards, and I'm the one signing his signature
Mhm.
on everything, right? So we go shopping, and I mean, like, we went to Fendi, went to Chanel, Louis Vuitton ain't give him no breaks.
Really?
Louis Vuitton,
You didn't want him
Louis
wearing this
Vuitton,
stuff. They were like, "No."
yeah, Louis Vuitton was not giving them dudes no breaks. Yo, Fendi give him 40% off. Chanel will give him 60% off sometimes for it. They went from 40 to 60%.
Mhm.
Fendi would not give him a break on not one item.
Really?
Nothing. I mean, Louis Vuitton would not give him
Okay.
a break on not one item. We go shopping. He spends $250,000 on shit from those three stores for her. 200. I know that may not seem, you balling like that, Tish. I know that ain't seem
What
like
are
a
you
lot to
talking
you.
about? That's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like, "That's a house." Anyway, go on. That's a house. What
Yo,
you talking about?
he's supposed to get all this stuff wrapped for Christmas. She never comes back, and she never returned his phone call. I
Wait.
was dying.
So that video that she did of All My Love is that remember? When she was like,
Uh,
"It's such a shame that I'm leaving," and the whole video was about her basically ghosting somebody around Christmas time, like, "I'm done."
Yeah, and let me just tell you something. They put it out that they stopped messing around in February of that February 2000. That's not true. She hadn't seen or talked to Puff since Christmas, right? But the week before Christmas.
Why did she do that? Why do you think she ghosted? What was going on at that time?
I re- I think she had made up her mind that she wasn't gonna deal with dude no more.
Okay. So she made up her mind that she wasn't gonna deal with anymore. What was going on around that time that she's like, "I'm tired of you. I'm done. I'm sick. It's over."
If I was to say,
Mhm.
I believe what you had just said. They turned in all the stuff that they had on him and
Mhm.
showed it to Benny Medina or showed it to her, and she said, "I'm done." But then she gonna say, "Well, I never caught him cheating on me. I never did this and I never did that." It had to be something that somebody showed her, told her, or made her very much aware for her
Mhm.
not to what you call deal with him anymore
At all. Like, was just
at
gone.
all. Yo, listen to me. He was sent a 100 dozen roses, and because he was using her personal assistant, he had some of her personal assistant there that he knew where Jennifer was at. He was trying to send Luther Vandross over there to send and sing a love song to her. He's gonna pay Luther Vandross to sing a love song to her.
What?
She was crazy.
And she was just like, I see what you're saying. She had to find something out because she wasn't even trying to maybe even hear it or see it.
Not a second check for somebody that said that you never, oh, he never cheated on me, he never did this or like that, and you don't even give him a second chance. He's sending you 100 dozen roses. He what you call? I knew he was a slime bucket, but I wasn't saying nothing. I didn't say nothing to Kim. I didn't say nothing to none of the people at the time.
Do you think that Diddy and J-Lo was around during Diddy's swinging era?
It wasn't with her.
Really?
Yeah.
Why not her? Why do you think?
Because certain women, they're gonna let you know. There's certain women you can do shit with and certain women that you can't, sis.
You think so?
I know so.
So he didn't even try it with J-Lo.
I never I've never seen not one man or one woman come out their room whenever we were somewhere,
Okay.
other than them two.
Okay. And they were together for like about a year and a half, 2 years,
Right.
something like that?
And then with them, I would see two. I would see people. I would see them in that type of situation, but I wouldn't see that with Miss Lopez. Not at all.
Did you ever see men come out of their room?
I see men come out of his room.
Many men? Wish step upon me, blood in
Don't
the
be
eye.
doing that shit.
Listen, they could've just been having business meetings, or they
You're
could've
not
been
right.
dropping
But
off
the
stuff.
time I seen men come out the room, there'd be two women in there also.
Okay. How many
But
men
then
did
if
you
you're
see?
to say something that'll be like when you're somebody you don't want to be up in there, there's some freaky things going on. And you just wonder, and you look when he say some shit like that, you like, yo, what?
Uh,
All right, okay.
so you were like, "Okay, I'll take your advice. I'm cool. I'm
I
cool with
take
it."
it.
Yeah, he said, "I'll take your word." Okay. So so when J-Lo left him, because you mentioned something earlier, so there's been reports that Diddy is in London, but there are people, sources, again, it has not been independently verified, but sources that say, oddly enough, that Diddy is in a super, super, super dark place. He realizes that his money can't buy him out of this, and there's just some stuff going on, right? And some people said that people are checking in on him like, "Yo, like, make sure he doesn't, like, do anything drastic." So it's funny that you say that when that All-Star game was going on and he didn't know he was gonna be exonerated, but it sounded like he was facing some real stuff, right? He
Hmm.
was in a very dark place. So
Yes,
when
yes, he was.
J-Lo Yeah, so when J-Lo left him, how do you think he was mentally?
Oh, he was in a real bad place because man, I'm just telling you, we used to hop out the car roundabout, and I don't know how familiar you are with New York, but we'll be at the and it's freezing outside. We'll be at the United Nations building, and his apartment was on 70. Now his building was on 74th and Park Avenue. We would walk from the United Nations building all the way home while the car just going slow while we just walked. And
Really?
I mean, like, he would walk around the park, the whole damn Central Park, trying to talk to somebody, trying to talk and clear his mind and get it off J-Lo. It was crazy. He was in a dark place.
He was in a dark place. Was Kim there for him then? Or
Yeah,
Kim,
she was
like,
there.
really? What was Kim's reaction to that?
I don't know. I never really seen Kim reaction. She might get in the car and he'll get on the phone and she'll look a certain way, but it didn't seem like she even cared. I don't know how she did it or what woman would stand for something like that. But then you got to look at, you know, that was her financial support. That was her.
But how can you say that when she was getting, at least when Christian was born, getting 35K in child support?
Okay, living 35K, get 35K in child support,
Mhm.
apartment probably 7,000 a month or more. Shopping at I done picked up some of Kim clothes and stuff like that. And she's shopping at all the latest boutiques.
Okay.
She got a she has a babysitter. She has somebody who's cooking. All those things
Okay.
have to be paid.
So you're saying that it needed to be paid. So even though she was getting 35K a month, Puffy was still the one supplying her lifestyle.
Right.
Hmm. Do you really think that's what was is, or do you think it was something a little bit deeper?
Both of them had their own habits, you know? Both of them
Yeah.
had their own habits. And by Puff being addicted now and blaming her for his addiction, I think Kim may have felt a little responsible for him not being able to break his habits.
Mm, it was just a toxic situation.
For both of them.
So then where does Diddy putting his hands on Kim lay into all that?
Thinking that when you take care of somebody or you doing something for somebody and they really don't do for themselves, thinking that that he can get away with doing something like that if she's going to go for it. I think that may have, I know I've heard of stories like on the boat when he broke her nose and everything like that. But I'm sure after that corkscrew incident, he wasn't going to be in the vicinity of any wine bottles or anything anymore.
I get that, but when you say that, and this again, I keep going back to this because their dynamic is so interesting to me. When I think that someone, when they get comfortable with you, character always shows. So
Mhm.
if I'm the type of person that when I get mad, I curse you out, right? Maybe I'm not cursing you out now or later, this and that, but eventually, if I spend enough time around you and I start to feel like comfortable around you, eventually my character is going to slip out, you know? So if Diddy like hitting on women, yeah, he might have did this, that, and the third for J-Lo, but with time, whatever infatuation or pedestal he put her on, she either would have knocked her own self off or he would have knocked her off that pedestal. And then she would eventually have gotten that own treatment. But you're trying to say that, well, not say, but from your recollection was that Kim kind of put herself in a situation that Diddy knew that he could treat her bad. So he treated her bad. And if she had put her foot down, he would have treated her better. You know? I don't
I
know
don't
if
think
that
that's I don't think that's fair of you to say that I'm saying that she put herself in a certain circumstances or certain situation.
no, I'm
I
not
don't think
implying
no
you're saying
woman
that. I'm just trying
but
to
no woman puts
understand.
herself in a certain circumstance that a man need to put their hands on them in a violent way.
Yeah.
But does this individual believe that because he's doing this and he's doing that, that he has some kind of dominance over her and he may take that route and go that route? He's that type of person because of his, what we want to say, he's his narcissism or whatever like that, cause him to believe that he has every right to do that.
No,
You
listen,
understand?
I know you're telling it from how you perceive Diddy, not what you actually believe is true, but just what you perceive. So you think his narcissism let him feel like he was entitled. So do you think if Kim had her own shine or had her own fame or had like the fame that J-Lo had, that he would have been or at least tried to be more respectful because his narcissism was like if he could get away with treating you like that, he was gonna try you.
I would love to think what Sarah believed because I never heard him ever putting his hands on Sarah.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Huh?
Really?
I never heard him put his hands on Sarah. You
Why do you
know,
think that is?
Sarah was a different class.
What do you mean?
Like, s- like Sarah was the type of woman that you could take out and you could give her the menu and she knew what was on the menu. And you could go to stores like Evelyn Crabtree and she knew what type of colognes and uh,
Yeah.
fragrances and things like that. You know, she had a certain class about her
Okay.
that Puff liked. You know what I'm saying? I never heard him talk cross or crazy around Sarah. Now he did freak offs with Sarah,
Did he?
yeah,
Okay. So he
but
did freak offs with Sarah.
huh?
So he no, so he did freak offs with Sarah.
What I
Okay.
mean
Right.
that her, another artist, another person was in the room together, you know, with him swinging. He did swinging stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh. But you never heard him put it that he put his hands on her.
I never heard that. I never heard a story that he put his hands on.
Did you ever hear that he put his hands on Cassie?
Not until the stuff came out. I was I wasn't involved in that whole lifestyle. I decided in 2009 that I wasn't going to do security and bodyguard anybody I was at the clubs back then. I was at the clubs with Cardi B and them over at Sue's Rendezvous, and I was doing K Slay and Chaz Williams at the time. So I wasn't into the hip hop world unless it had something to do with DJ K Slay.
Okay. So you were okay. So when you
So I
said that
wasn't
you never
familiar
heard
with
it,
I
so
wasn't
when you
familiar with anything it did to Cassie.
okay, but you were there during the Sarah years. So if he had laid his hands on Sarah, you would have heard something.
Yeah, I would have heard something because
Hmm.
I knew people who knew Sarah personally.
Wow, that's deep. And he never put his hands on Misa either.
Oh yeah, he did.
He did.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I told you that. Remember?
Under the car. So what made
Yeah.
Misa so what made Sarah different, do you think? Besides she had elegance, she had class, what else do you think made her different?
She probably didn't need him.
And she didn't need him financially or emotionally or what?
I mean, Sarah was doing her thing. She was out there on the circuit dealing with ball players, dealing with people. Probably had she's educated. She has a degree and everything like that. So maybe she has some way of taking care of herself, and didn't need his finance or didn't need him for certain things.
Yeah. But Misa, I remember back in the day, she was the one at one point earning more money than Diddy when she was a stylist. No?
I don't think she was. I don't think she was. And then he was having people cut her off and everything like that. He had me
Ah.
living real bad.
Yeah.
Diddy was talking about don't f with her, don't do this, don't do that. So even though she is talented and she made hip hop fashion what hip hop fashion is, back in those days, he was telling people not to f with her.
Mm. Wow, that's crazy. So while he was doing that to Misa, and this is let's just say it's just Justin and Christian right now. While he was doing that to Misa, I do remember when he got her evicted from the house that he was supposed to be paying the note on according to agreement. He did Misa really grimy. Misa did a bunch of interviews saying, I found interviews from like 2004 saying basically Diddy was mad that he didn't have access to her bed anymore. So he was trying to punish her for that and Killen kept the bed open, so it was fine, you know? Um, how so while he's doing this to Misa, getting her blackballed, getting her evicted, really trying to humble her, you know, and fighting her for child support, what do you think from what you saw, the relationship him did he as a father with Justin and Christian and also Quincy, I guess, was there too.
Well, Christian was just born,
Mhm.
and I'm probably responsible for that happening because Puff was using
Really?
condoms. And my girl was poking up, and she'll find condoms in my bag, my pocket. I say, yo, that's for Puff. We got to keep condoms on deck. He'll tell us to go get condoms and shit. I swear for
So
living
then the
God.
girl was like,
She was poking holes in the condoms.
"What?"
I'm like, so if I was cheating on you, both of us would be dead, huh? I said, if I was cheating on you, I caught some, both of us be dead, huh? What's wrong with you? Why would he do that? And I wasn't using condom anyway, but still and all. Why would you do that? She ain't had no excuse or nothing like that. But to make a long story short, Christian pops up. You
Okay.
know what I mean? During that time. But Misa was struggling, but she couldn't get to work. And I guess that's why she went out on the West Coast to try to find work with people that was gonna listen to him, and let them style him. That's how she started talking to Suge Knight and everything.
But what? How was, Diddy as a father to Justin, Tristan, Quincy? He was doing all this stuff to Misa, but what do you remember him as a father?
As a father, like we'll go to the parks on Saturdays and Sundays. He would pick them up early in the morning. He'll play a little ball with them. And then about 9, 10 o'clock, his phone will start ringing.
Really?
And so then 9 times out of 10, I'm throwing the ball, you know, dealing with them. And then uh what you call it got big enough. Justin has got big enough that him and Quincy could play ball with each other. Quincy was more of a baseball player. Like I think
Okay.
he liked baseball. And Justin was more of a, he liked to, catch the football and everything like that.
Yeah.
But he was pretty good. with those kids and everything like that every time I'm around. But he was a busy man. You know what I
Okay.
mean? He didn't allow people to get autographs or anything like that when he's out with the kids. So he was tentative to him.
So whatever was going on between Diddy and Misa, he didn't let that go into him being a
No,
dad for.
I was shocked that Misa would allow Justin to come to Cam's house. But I think that I don't know if she knew that Justin was at Kim's house. Maybe she thought that Justin was at Puff's house. But every morning we would pick up Justin at Kim's house because he'd be over there with Quincy.
So Justin and Kim over at Kim's house. So you're trying to say that even though they overlap, they at that point they weren't a happy family. Misa still might have felt some type of way that her girlfriend snaked her.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
Misa, Misa, she probably grew out of it eventually, but she did not like Kim at all. And then she made it clearly that I don't understand how he could do so much for her and not for Justin and her.
You think that was the root of her dislike for Kim because at one point they were friends, right?
Yeah,
Was Misa around when so when did they turn into this happy family? When Diddy became close to a multimillionaire? Because at one point, they seemed to be like a happy family. Sarah was there, Kim was there, Lisa was there. Kim and Cassie even posed together on red carpets with it.
I really don't know when they was a happy family. I didn't know Misa had even been a part of.
Her.
I don't believe Misa was ever a part of that. She could be, but from my relationship with Misa and the things and the conversations that we've had, I don't believe that she ever forgave Diddy for any of the things that he did for her. She may have grown out and moved on, but I don't believe she forgave him for it.
Gotcha. That's a
And
good
as far
point.
as Kenzie and Kim, I heard they, from the grapevine, you hear that they was cool and she was trying to guide Cassie, because maybe she saw something that was coming.
What do you mean, God, Cassie?
Like, like if you're gonna have a conversation, Cassie was a young girl. Cassie was what, 18, 19 years old.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think a woman who dealt with a man of Puff caliber, she may have put something in Cassie's ear and told her something to safeguard her. I know any woman with a conscience and know how diabolical a person could be would do that. You got to look at it. What led Cassie just to get up and just, leave?
Good point. But that seems like the way women leave him. They just wake up one day and say, "Okay, enough.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough." Just like J-Lo was like, "And today's the day." But when you say that he can be so diabolical, could you just like, what do you mean by diabolical? Because some people are dirty, some people are dogs. Like, what do you mean by diabolical?
Not allow you to go and have a relationship with another man and make it difficult for you to date somebody else. And the interim is that try to know all your business by sleeping with the babysitter and doing all kind of crazy shit that won't allow you to go nowhere else and be who you supposed to be.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's diabolical. That's
exactly.
diabolical. I said that's diabolical. That's beyond being just a dog. That's diabolical.
Right.
Okay. What other stuff was he into?
What do you mean?
So when you're saying that he was doing all this with Kim, but then I'm having trouble, and you were in the situation. So
Let me
what I'm still trying to wrap my mind around is the fact that he didn't want Kim to go anywhere, that he didn't want Kim to be his, and then keep that
but he didn't
into
want
your head.
nobody else to have it.
Was he didn't want anybody else to have.
Some men want a woman. They don't want the woman, but they don't want nobody else to have the woman either.
Hmm.
So it was that type of relationship. He didn't want Kim like that, but he didn't want nobody else to have Kim either. And then he got into that stuff with you know, Puff started doing weird shit, going to Turkish baths and stuff like that. Like, the fuck you going in there for, man? You know, we know we're in the village, we're in New York City. You got this big ass tub in your house, but you're going to have jump in a tub with a bunch of men?
And he let you or anybody else know that he was going there. He wasn't ashamed of it.
You got to realize I was his bodyguard. I was security. He wasn't
Got
going by. We outside the door, but he wasn't going to no point. Whereas that he ain't going in there and walking in there. Somebody be waiting on him outside or whatever the case may be.
it. Did Kim know about the Turkish baths?
I don't. I can't say she did. I don't know if she knew
Did
or
you
not.
ever go to a Turkish bath with them?
She never went with us. No.
Okay. So then, how do you juxtapose the way Puppy treated Kim when she was alive, and then when she passed away, that was the love of his life? That's what I'm trying to.
Let me ask you something.
Mhm.
Who did that do anything for?
Well, Diddy, obviously, he got a his career
No.
got a shot of adrenaline.
No. It does that to the people that's listening. Oh, he really loved her. That's what most girls gonna say.
Mm,
Oh, I wish they would have had a chance. He was with her for over 20 some years.
good
Have
point.
what more chance it is? It does it for the public to say that.
Mm,
But yet and still he's sending shout outs to Cassie and knowing she's in a relationship.
true. So with the children, that must be something crazy where because again, I'm definitely on the outside. You're on the inside, but you're not laying in bed every night and you're not waking up with them. So the children actually see everything in full detail.
I believe they see some of the things because you got to realize is that a lot of those people have people who take care of their people.
What you mean?
They have babysitters, nannies, that the kids are closer to them than they are their parents.
So you're saying that the kids had handlers and everything. It wasn't this whole image he's putting up of being a single father, rushing them to school, doing this, doing that. It was just all,
That's how it is.
mm,
The drivers take them to school. The drivers pick them up. The person that the cook is there for their dinner and their lunch. You come, spend a few hours, not even a few hours a day. You see them on the weekend or whatever. You take them out for a couple of hours, and you get the kids whatever they want, and that's good, and they good.
let me ask you something, because Kamora Lee Simmons, she is now helping basically Diddy raise the kids, it looks like, and she is the kid's godmother. So, was Kamora Lee Simmons around at that time too?
Yeah, she was around.
What was your impression of the relationship between Diddy, Kamora, and Kim?
Diddy used to always have to try to check Kimora because Kimora would try to tell Kim, don't let him do that, don't let him treat you like that. And he was just as I say argumentative with Kimora in public. And I couldn't, and I said something to him once before. I said, man, that's Russell's wife. He went outside. I think Kimora was actually pregnant at the time. We was in the club and he was telling her to mind her effing business. And then he had to go and apologize to her or something like that.
He apologized to her the same day?
Yeah, the same time. He was trying to
Okay.
apologize to her, but I think she was crying going to her car.
Wait, what happened? Roll that back, because I just thought it was a few words. What put her in tears? What did he
I,
do? What put her in what is going on
I
with the
don't know
microphone?
what the situation was, but I know he told her to mind her effing business, right?
Okay,
He had told more to mind her effing business. She was pregnant and she got upset. I guess it had something to do with Kim because Kim was there also. So I guess it
okay.
had something. Kamar was rushing to the car, after the situation, and I was like, man, that's Russell's wife, or some shit like that. And then she was like, yo, he was trying to tell Kamara that he was sorry, but I don't know if she heard it.